the question which was given on decision tree. Final decision tree should be like this. So entropy of age was highest. So age can take 3 values, that is less than or equal to 30, 31 to 40, greater than 40. Then when we calculated age with respect to student credit rating and what was the one more field? 1 second. And student credit rating and income, we got student to be having highest information gain. So this was the next node when age was less than or equal to 30. So this can directly give you the answer no and yes, because here the entropy would be 0. So directly you can say if age is between 31 to 40, the answer is yes. Similarly, if it is greater than 40, got the answer for credit rating. How many of you got this decision tree as your final answer or output? Lavanya has got. So to come with values, 1 second. Yeah, these are the values. So the information gain for first one, that is your by computer is 0.940, and for age, how much you got for age? It is 0.246. Similarly for income, it is 0.029. For students, the information gain is 0.151. For credit rating, answer is 0.048. So out of this 4, which has the highest information gain? Age has the highest information gain. So age will be the root node. So now if you consider only age attribute, the information gain of age for less than or equal to 30 is 0.971. Between 31 to 40 it is 0. Greater than 40 it is 0.971. So age has 3 values, that is less than or equal to 30, between the range 31 to 40, greater than 40, and these are the positive examples, these are the negative examples. So by using this two, if you calculate the information gain, the answer is 0.971, 0.971. The full working of this I'll share after the class. So these are the values. So now once you have decided age is your root node, what you have to do with respect to a particular branch. For example, if age is less than or equal to 30, how many entries you have? You have around 5 entries. For this 5 entries, you have to check income with respect to income, with respect to student, and with respect to credit rating. You will find out the information gain. So when you find out information gain of these 3 attributes, your student attribute will have highest information gain. So this will become the child node of the root node age less than or equal to 30. But if you observe the value 31 to 40, see every time the decision is yes. So this entropy will be 0. So directly there is no need to calculate anything else. So if the range is 31 to 40, your answer will be yes. If your value is greater than 40, again for greater than 40, no need to calculate for student, because student is already your left subtree. So you have to calculate the information gain with respect to income and information gain with respect to credit rating. When you do this to the information of your credit rating will be higher. So this will be your child node whenever age is greater than 40. The detailed answer I'll share, which is worked. Lavanya has worked that. I have checked that. So the answer is correct. Stepwise answer will be shared after the class. So it is easier whenever you solve it in the tabular format. For example, for the attribute income, you have considered how many positive, how many negative. Using this values, it will be easier to find out your information gain. So as we did for most of the problems, so solving this in a tabular format will give you the clear answers. Like for example, here it is solved for age. Similarly, you can solve for each of the attribute, and the important thing in your ID3 is you will always select the attribute with the highest value as your best split attribute. So whichever has the highest value will be considered as attribute where you can split. So how long you have to do? The termination condition is until the decision is clear. So you should be able to dictomize your trees. What do you mean by dictomization? You have to clearly separate the decision, whether it is label yes or label no. Until and unless you get that clear decision, you will be performing your ID3 algorithm. Once you get that, you may stop at that particular point. So the answer is, this is the answer. So this should be your final decision tree. So this is about ID3. So we'll see what is the algorithm that is applied for decision tree. So for decision tree, the basic algorithm is, it is using a greedy algorithm or a greedy approach. What do you mean by greedy approach? What is greedy? Guys, greedy approach. You've already seen many algorithms, right? When do you say a particular algorithm is greedy? What do you mean by greedy? Yeah, low cost, high profit. You have learned this, right? So in greedy, if a particular algorithm is said to be greedy, if you are able to find out all the possible options without leaving any one of them. Here it is called as greedy because the efficiency that is got as maximum, because you are trying or you are calculating entropy as well as information gain for each of the attribute before deciding which is the best split, right? So the term greedy. So what we did, it uses two approaches. That is, we have started from the root node, and how long you will iterate? You will iterate until you get the answer as your decision in your leaf node. So the approach used is top-down approach, and it is recursive. Why it is recursive? In each step, you will be using entropy and information gain, and this is divide and conquer technique. Why it is divide and conquer? Because you will take a particular attribute, you will find out entropy, you will find information gain. Similarly, you will move to the next attribute. So what you are doing, by attribute, you are calculating the entropy and information gain. So your decision tree induction is a greedy algorithm in which tree is constructed based upon top-down recursive divide and conquer manner. So you're starting from root node, reaching till leaf node. So the top-down approach, it is said to be recursive because you are recursively, or in each iteration you are performing the same steps, and divide and conquer, because attribute by attribute you are finding the entropy and information gain. So what you will do, the first step is at the beginning or start, you will take all the training examples are root. So in order to determine which is the best split, what you will do, you will find out entropy and information gain of each one of them, and it is said to be a best split or a root node if and only if the information gain has the highest value. Then what have you observed? Here all the attributes are categorical. What do you mean by categorical? You can, what is categorical? It should be belonging to either of one of the classes, right? It is not continuous valued like yes, no, or true, false, or for example, if you consider the what the example given, age is less than 30 or between 31 to 40 or greater than 40. Those were the different categories, right? So your ID3 can be applied for categorical values, not for continuous valued attributes. It has to be discretized in some manner. Then the partition is recursively done. So once your training model are taken up, you will come up with a heuristic model. When you come up with heuristic or a statistical measure model, what you can do, you can apply your test attributes or your testing sample to check whether you can derive the correct answer. What we did, once the decision tree is got, you will come up with rules, if then rules. So based upon that rules, that will be your test attributes. So based upon the rule derived from the decision tree, you will be able to test a particular tuple or sample which is not part of your training set. So what is the stopping criteria? For each algorithm, you should know when you have to stop, right? That is your stopping criteria. So for this, the stopping criteria will be based upon, like, the sample has to be dichotomized or divided in such a way that it will belong to one of the decision. Until and unless a decision is derived, you will do on, or you will complete your decision tree by recursively finding it information gain. So once you get the clear decision out of the partition, then you will stop your decision tree induction at that particular step. So what is the technique involved here? You will go up with majority voting. Why it is called as majority voting? Because based upon there are no remaining attribute, what two things you are deriving from decision tree. One is you are finding out the order of the information that can be got from a particular attribute. So how will you get to know which attribute is most important? By calculating its entropy and information gain. Whichever has the highest entropy will be taken, right? So based upon that, you know what is the information provided by each and every attribute, and similarly, whenever the decision is got clearly or determined, you will stop your decision tree. In each case, we have seen one of the attribute is not considered. In that case, that attribute is of less importance. I think you have seen in data pre-processing that one of the disadvantage of all your data processing is whenever you get your raw data, there can be some missing values, right? There can be some missing values, or there can be some kind of noise in the data that you have gathered. So in order to remove them, you have seen so many steps. So the efficiency of decision tree reduces whenever there is a missing value in a particular attribute. So the precondition for your decision tree is, it is assumed that the data is full. So what do you mean by data is full? That there is no missing attributes or missing value in the attributes, followed by whatever data you have considered, the repetition of data should be minimal. Then only your efficiency of your decision tree will be high. So this is on ID3. So the technology, or what you say, the aspect involved is majority voting. By using majority voting, you will consider a tree formation, where in tree formation it applies greedy algorithm, and the tree constructed uses 3 techniques: top down, recursive, and divide and conquer. So here each attribute selection is based upon information gain. I hope it is clear. So can I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we'll see what is the importance of ID3 algorithm. It uses ill-claiming search technique. So what do you mean by ill-claiming? So whenever a decision tree is constructed, it is constructed step by step using your information gain as the measure. So how many of you have heard about the term hypothesis? So hypothesis is assumption that you make before solving a problem. So your ID3 will output a single hypothesis. So this hypothesis is whether decision is true or false. You can apply ID3 only when your decision variable is binary. So what do you mean by binary decision variable? So the answer should be either true or false, or yes or no. So whenever you have only values for your decision, you say that particular decision variable to be binary attributed, and you can apply ID3 only when your output is a single hypothesis. So here in the example, the hypothesis is whether a student can buy computer or not. What were the attributes? Attribute is whether the person who is buying the computer is a student, what is his income level, what is the age level, and what is the credit rating. Based upon this 4 attribute, you are testing an hypothesis. Here the hypothesis is whether he or she can buy the computer or not is the hypothesis. And have you observed one more thing? In this decision tree, you are not backtracking. That is, once a particular path is traced, so that is assumed to be optimal solution. So if you find, so in order to avoid backtracking only, we are taking the attribute with the highest information gain to be the root node in each decision tree, so that it will avoid the backtracking. So what is the optimal solution applied here? Optimal solution is majority voting, that is, which has highest information gain. Only that particular attribute is taken as root node. And here in decision tree or your ID3, it uses all training example at each step in order to take the decision incrementally. And you can also solve the problem of missing value by using statistical approach. So one of the statistical approach in order to avoid a missing value attribute is your chi-square test. Have you heard about chi-square test? So only what you have to know is that is not part of your syllabus. The problems on chi-square test is not there. But in order to make data ready for your ID3, if in case there is a attribute, then you can use a statistical measure called chi-square test in order to make data sensitive to individual training. And noisy data can be modified if the termination condition or a termination criteria accept the hypothesis. You can simply neglect that particular tuples. So if you have considered, say, you are able to get the answers prior to not considering all the tuples, that tuples can be discarded, and the attribute of can also be discarded. So this is the importance or pros of your ID3. So what are the drawbacks? Drawbacks is it can deal with only nominal data and categorical data. So it has to be in one of you cannot use 3 whenever you have a continuous data, right? Then it deals with noisy data set, but what happens? Your may come down if data is noisy. The robustness can be decreased. So it may not be robust if it is noise. So the draw deal with only your nominal data. So in order to improve upon this,